Um, I hardly know where to start. It was such a bad evening, dressed up as a good evening. Now, I was, of course, immediately drawn to watch CNN as soon as Biden was done speaking, because I wanted to see how they would treat it. You knew they were going to say it was the best speech he'd ever given. That was kind of baked into it. And then, of course, there would be conservatives who said, "Oh my God, it's terrible. You know, he was just reading off a teleprompter." But the fact that he based his campaign on being the guy of good character, the one who cares, at the same time and in the same speech, perpetrated the most divisive race hoax in American history, the Fine People hoax. Now, you'll see the left fighting back this morning. Media Matters and others are trying to double down on the lie, because there are so many people in the public, such as me, for example, Joel Pollack, Steve Cortez, I saw Charles Payne, I saw Ali Alexander, I saw Jack Posobiec, just probably hundreds of people who have some clout, at least on social media, saying, no, that's like a totally debunked hoax. He's basing his campaign on a debunked hoax. Now, what do the people who believe the hoax say? Ho, 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 you right-wing crazy people. You're trying to tell us that we didn't see it with our own eyes? We didn't hear it with our own ears? Oh no, I saw it and I heard it, and I can prove it. Here's the video of what I saw and what I heard. Here it is. And then they'll show the edited video, which is the hoax. If they show the whole video, it shows Trump without prompting, and this is the important part, there was no prompting, said, I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, they should be condemned totally. If you leave that part out, it could be misunderstood that he was praising the people with the torches. And so, in order not to be misconstrued later, without prompting, Trump clarified to make sure you wouldn't interpret it wrong. And they lopped that part off and made it the central part of Biden's campaign. So they turned the truth into a lie by getting rid of the clarification. And beyond that, there's a second lie that's baked in. And the second lie is this, that it matters who was there. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if there were any fine people there. It doesn't matter if there was anybody there who disavowed the racist and just liked the statues. It doesn't matter because Trump gave his assumption that he thought there were fine people there who fit that category of not racist, and that he spoke to his assumption. Worst case scenario is that he was mistaken about who attended, right? That's the worst it could be, is he thought there were some fine people, but once you looked into it, maybe there weren't. Except that I looked into it personally, because I'd said some things in public which caused people to contact me. And people, several of them, and you're going to ask, well, why don't you give me their names? Of course I'm not going to give you their names. Are you kidding me? One of them actually said that I could. And I said, let me talk you out of that. You don't want your name attached to any of this, but I do want to hear your story. And one of the attendees was Jewish. He had a Jewish background. Now, do you think that the Jewish guy was marching with the tiki torch, people saying, Jews must not replace us? I mean, seriously. He was against the racists. He just was there for rallying for the statues. Now, you could argue that you shouldn't support statues because, that alone is racist. I don't support statues. I think they're offensive and should be taken down, the Confederate ones. And, but you'd have to explain how it is that something like a quarter or a third of black citizens are in favor of keeping the statues. If you can't possibly be a good person and want to keep the statues just for history, even knowing that they're offensive to some people, how do you explain that that quite a number of black people want to keep the statues. Are they not fine people? The only way this hoax can exist is if you never talk to anybody who attended. Watch the people debunking debunking what they think is the debunk. The people who are trying to say that the fine people hoax was real, that it really happened, will only describe it from the perspective of the media reports at the time. And they will say, well, there you go. There's no media report at the time of any fine people, but I talked to them in person. Like I personally talked to them on the telephone, but I personally talked to them, and they tell me the story about showing up. In one case, they didn't know who organized it at all. They had no idea who organized it, but they knew there was something going on about statues. They were local, and they said, well, we're local, we want to keep statues. There's something about that going on, we'll show up and give our opinion. That's it. Were they marching with the racists? No, they never got close to the marchers because the police stopped anybody coming in after a point and said, don't go over there. And so they didn't. They were sort of trapped in a police confined area. And then when it was over, they all went home. That's it. Now, if the president was wrong about who attended, that should be the story. He was incorrect about who attended. Do you know who else was incorrect about who attended? Fucking everybody. Every fucking person who thinks this hoax is real is incorrect about who attended. Every fucking one of them. I know because I talked to him. The president, worst case scenario, is in their category of not knowing who attended. Worst case. That's it. So Joe Biden tries to sell himself as the kind and caring guy, the man with character, and then he bases his whole fucking campaign on the fine people hoax. Do I care that he's a lying piece of shit? Not really. I don't care if Biden is an asshole. I mean, these politicians can be bad people. I don't really care that he's a lying piece of shit. But I do care that he painted a fucking target on my back. This is personal. This isn't about politics anymore. This isn't about the tax rate. This isn't about any fucking thing, except this asshole, one of the worst fucking people in the whole goddamn world, just painted another target on my fucking back. Now, it would be one thing if he had said it once. I'd say, well, he tried it out and it didn't work. But making it the centerpiece of his whole fucking campaign, that is going to make me vote for the first time. First time recently. As you know, I famously don't vote because I don't want to be biased. I don't want to be on a team. But I think this is not about politics anymore. This is self-defense. I'm going to vote for self-defense because this fucking guy can't be in charge. Not with a race hoax. Now people are going to say, well, what about Trump? What about the things he says that are not true? Well, yeah, he might say some things that don't pass the fact checkers. Maybe. But are they ever like this? This isn't like anything he's ever fucking done. He told you he wanted to keep crime out of the country, and then that turned into he's a racist. Trying to protect your country is the fucking job of the president. It's the opposite of what fucking asshole Joe Biden is doing. He's not trying to protect the country. He's trying to tear it apart. The fucking fine people hoax is not like other lies. It's the tentpole fucking hoax that makes people who are stupid and believe the fake news think that it's all true. Because if they see this one's true, they say, well, it must be true that the other thing they're saying about it is true. It's the only one that they think they saw with their own eyes and heard with their own ears because it got edited so they don't hear the clarification. And because they're sure that one's true, it makes all the other things that don't have actual evidence or any credibility to them whatsoever seem clearly true. But worse, it makes it seem like anybody who supports Trump must clearly know that he was supporting these fine people, and therefore it makes us look like assholes. Joe Biden, if you're making your fellow citizens targets for violence and discrimination, and you're doing it fucking intentionally, you are not worthy of being a fucking citizen in this country, much less a leader. You have not qualified at the basic level of understanding the goddamn Constitution, which should treat us equally, and should not have you targeting your fucking fellow citizens for violence and for discrimination. You goddamn fucking piece of shit. And it's worse. It's worse than that. Here's why it's worse. And I just wrote a blog on locals that I shared. You can see this. Even if you're not a subscriber, I shared it on Twitter so you can see it. Joe Biden has introduced a new form of fucking slavery. That's right. He just introduced a new form of fucking slavery. Because this Fine People hoax has the intention of, first of all, winning the election, but also to bind black people, black voters, to the Democrat Party. If he does that, and it looks like he's succeeding, he has once again taken away all black political power. If you live in this country and you're allegedly a fucking citizen, shouldn't you get some political power? How about that? Why do white people have political power? Why do they? How come black people can't have political power? Because you don't have any fucking political power if you just vote Democrat. Because asshole Joe Biden told you the biggest fucking lie in American history, and you fucking bought it. You fucking believed it. Because you watch CNN and you think it's news. It's not news. It stopped being news several years ago. It's pure fucking propaganda. And you know who else is? Fox fucking News. Fox News, you are just as fucking guilty as CNN. No better. No better. I will make exceptions for some of the hosts on Fox News. Greg Gutfeld, being a notable exception, has called out this hoax. But it's pretty fucking clear that whoever is producing Fox News is not too interested in killing this hoax. It's pretty fucking clear. So whoever is running Fox News, you assholes. You fucking assholes. Fix this. You've got the responsibility because you're the main vehicle or voice for the people who support Trump, or you used to be. What the fuck happened? What the fuck happened? I turned on the news last night and I'm watching Fox News talking about what a great fucking speech it is, without talking about the center of the goddamn speech being the biggest race hoax in the lie. How the fuck do you leave that out? How is that not the most important fucking thing to say about the whole fucking event? That he was tearing the country apart intentionally with a fucking hoax. How is that okay? Media Matters is trying to debunk the debunk and acting as if there go those crazy right-wing people acting like it didn't happen when we all saw it on video. Yeah, you saw the hoax video, you fucking assholes. Everybody saw the hoax because that's the one you show. Show the rest of it, fuckers. If you read the Media Matters piece that tries to debunk the debunk, it actually includes the statement where Trump says specifically he's not talking about the racists. They actually include that and act like you didn't see it. It's the most amazing fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. So, Joe Biden, you fucking piece of shit, don't try to sell us on character when that's the worst thing anybody's ever done as a politician in this fucking country. You can't find anything that Trump did, anything that fucking Nixon did that's worse than this. Nothing. All right.